Right now, there is one single force overshadowing every financial metric, every market trend, and every legacy industry you can think of. It is the AI economy. To really understand why this is the most important development in the history of finance, more important than anything else happening with money right now, you have to understand its fundamental nature. We are no longer just trading goods or services. We are entering a game of generating, or more accurately, printing productivity. This is the era of spawning intelligence at will. When you strip away all the technical jargon, the central question of this new era is actually startlingly simple. What if you had the possibility to hire as many talents as your capital allowed, but for a mere fraction of the traditional price? This is the core mechanic of the world we are entering. It is a game driven by the relentless momentum of capitalism, and the stakes are nothing less than the total reconfiguration of how value is created on this planet. If you view capitalism through a systemic lens, it reveals itself as a massive, high-stakes role-playing game, specifically a player versus player environment. In this theater, the top AI labs like OpenAI, Anthropic, Alibaba, Minimax, and Mistral are not just companies, they are elite players. They are competing in a frantic race to issue the latest AI capabilities, vying to unlock the next set of cognitive systems that will trigger a quantum leap in human history. These labs are essentially grinding for the ultimate loot, the next set of skills that will boost productivity and open entirely new business horizons. Every model release acts like an expansion pack for the global economy, unlocking new features and skills that allow businesses to expand their reach and their understanding of the world. We are witnessing the development of productivity multipliers that do not just add to the economy, but exponentiate it. This competition is what expands the playing field. As these technologies evolve, they create new economic lands, which are uncharted territories ripe for conquest. The first settlers in these areas, the players who have the latest technologies, the best understanding of the mechanics, and the grit and the gut to travel into the unknown, will be the ones to grasp and conquer these new markets. In the world of gaming, players strive for S-rank status, which is the highest level of performance and capability. In the AI economy, the ultimate goal for these competing labs is to win the capacity to generate infinite money perpetually. This might sound like hyperbole, but in the logic of the capitalism operating system, it is the natural conclusion. Once a player unlocks a top-tier S-rank cognitive skill, a system that can reason, create, and execute with human or even superhuman proficiency, they gain the possibility to scale infinitely. In traditional economics, scaling is limited by the friction of hiring, training, and managing human labor. In the AI economy, that friction evaporates. You are no longer limited by the number of people you can find. You are limited only by the compute you can command. If there were only one or two players in this game, the world might reach a stagnant equilibrium. But because this is a massive multiplayer RPG, the competition is fierce. Everyone wants to win it all. This drive ensures that the pace of innovation will not slow down. Each player is forced to keep leveling up their intelligence spawning capabilities, or they risk being phased out by those who can provide more talent for less gold. This competitive frenzy brings to mind the world of Ready Player One. In that story, the goal was to find the key to the full virtual world, giving the winner the power to reshape the entirety of existence. Mark Zuckerberg's pivot toward the metaverse and his massive bet on Llama and foundational AI is a direct play for this key. While some remain skeptical of the metaverse, it is a mistake to underestimate the vision. Once the foundational technology lands, specifically everyday smart glasses that blend the physical and digital, the virtual world will effectively become the economy itself. The key in this context is the AI that manages, populates, and powers that world. The AI economy is the engine under the hood of capitalism operating system. To win the AI race is to win the right to define the rules of the virtualized economy. This is why the investment is so massive and the competition is so cutthroat. These companies are not just building software, they are building the infrastructure for a reality where intelligence is a utility, as available and as vital as electricity. Perhaps the most transformative aspect of this shift is the democratization of high-level talent. Imagine a world where a small startup can hire the equivalent of 1,000 PhD-level researchers, designers, and strategists for the cost of a server subscription. This is the game of hiring for a fraction of the price. This is not just about automation, it's about expansion. When the cost of intelligence drops towards zero, the playing field expands. Business owners are no longer constrained by the scarcity of human talent. They can now explore economic horizons that were previously too expensive or complex to navigate. This is where the grit and the gut come in. The winners will be those who can look at these new, uncharted economic lands and have the courage to settle them using the power of spawned intelligence. Now there is a growing chorus of voices warning of an AI bubble. To this, one must look at the structural reality of the capitalism operating system. While there will undoubtedly be market corrections, because that is simply how stock markets function, the underlying game is stronger than any temporary dip. The drive toward productivity is the most fundamental law of capitalism. As long as there is a competitive advantage to be gained by spawning intelligence, the investment will continue. This is not a speculative bubble built on nothing. It is a fundamental upgrade to the world's productive capacity. The labs are gathering the most brilliant minds on the planet and arming them with unprecedented research power to unlock new skills. This is a game of intelligence, and the players are playing for keeps. In the end, the AI economy is the most important development in the history of modern finance because it represents the ultimate optimization of the capitalism operating system. We are moving from an economy of scarcity to an economy of spawned productivity. The quantum leap is approaching. As these S-rank skills become available, the gap between those who play the game and those who watch from the sidelines will become an abyss. The game of capitalism is evolving into a more complex, faster, and more rewarding RPG than we have ever seen. To succeed in this new era, you must recognize the nature of the game. It requires the latest tech, the best understanding of the new mechanics, and the grit and the gut to venture into uncharted territories. The prize is the ability to scale infinitely and redefine the economic landscape of the 21st century. The game is on, and the only way to lose is to refuse to play.